G'day guys, welcome back to another series of where we do cool shit or die trying or figure out what we're gonna do in our lives. So yeah, let's get started. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna be creating a template, variable template in Azure DevOps, and we're gonna be using Azure Key Vault to reference secrets into that template so that we have some sort of way to reference back all of our well-kept secrets in the Azure portal, like who am I and what do I do. All the important things in life. So yeah, let's get started and see what's up. So yeah, first let's log into the Azure portal. Yep, if I can do this, disconnect and try again. Portal.azure.com. So let's do kumara.upa. And we are here. On the side, yes. Alrighty, so let's see what's up. So now let's do, before we do that, let's do this. Alrighty guys, so let's get started right here. So what we have is an Azure Key Vault, and this is just a service in Azure that all it does is it actually stores and retrieves secrets. So this is a SaaS application, so it does this for us. Azure manages all the backend, so we don't really have to worry about it. But what is really important is that the Azure Key Vault allows a user in Azure or a managed identity to be able to authenticate with the Azure services and actually get either secrets, or they'll be able to get certificates, or the other thing that they can get is keys. Now what's really important is that once we have some sort of automation in place that can actually get these secrets, certificates and keys for us automatically, then we don't have to worry about anything. So this is going to be one of the building blocks for all of our future Azure DevOps tutorials, where we want to first get stuff like the stuff that is commonly available in all of our tenant, like the subscription ID, the tenant ID, some of those basic information. We want to get them via Azure Key Vault, and what we want to do with that is, after we get them from Key Vault, we want to actually create a templates variable, and we'll be storing that in that template. And we'll be referencing that in our main template, our main YAML file, and that's how we go, and that's how we will get started. So yeah, just before some of this, so one of the prerequisites that we would have to do is we have to create an Azure DevOps service principal. Now what this would do is this service principal would allow us to actually then go and start doing some stuff like authenticating with Azure using the service principal. So yeah, let's get started on that demo real quick and let's see how this goes. Alrighty guys, and we are back in the Azure portal. So let's just go back and let's go creating a resource. The first thing we'll do is create a resource group. Now we'll go directly to the resource. So let's go for the Key Vault. And you can see that create a resource, Key Vault, and we'll just we'll call it a new resource group. Let's call it dev, and this one would be template test AZ DevOps pipeline. If I can spell, that would be awesome. So yeah, here we go. This is the template that we have. Now let's call the Key Vault, we'll call it dev Key Vault Azure Dev Pipeline secret. Dev az key vault azdo. Alright, so that's good. So now let me take the closest region to me, that is Australia Central, and I'm going to keep everything as is, but the only thing that I might change is the access policy, just to have a vault access policy in this case. The reason being is that what will happen is we are looking to get actually get these secrets using a service principal, and in that case, instead of having a RBAC and having more access than required, we'll just create an access policy and give them access to the keys as required. And we'll select this option, maybe the first one as well, just to see if you might need to expand in the future using managed identities for VMs. But we can use Azure Resource Management for this template, and then now we'll just review and create this. Now it's going to validate for us, and what's going to happen in the meantime is, yep, it'll be creating this. Okay, so while this is baking, the other thing that I do want to show you guys is this. What we would do is clear. Alrighty, so yeah, that's a good thing. Now what we would do is I'm just going to open up the Cloud Shell in Azure, and I'm just going to show you some of the amazing things that we can do here. Account, show, query, and would be the name. And we're just setting the output parameter over here to TSV. And we can see that we have gotten the query, the subscription name. So that's all we need. Az show query, the subscription ID is called, and we also want the output to be a TSV tab separated. Which is taking a long time. Oh yeah, because I misspelled show. And sweet. Easy account. Oh yeah, account show. Then I will just call query, and it would be ID field, and the output would be a tab separated value. Output would be a TSV. SV, if I can fucking spell, that'd be awesome. So now we have both this stuff. Yep, so now we have the subscription ID and the subscription name. So let's just set them as subscription ID. So it's for that, what I would do is I would just use this particular thing. Let me paste that in. I'm just saving it into a value, and the other thing as well, I'd be saving that again in another value called subscription ID. So what will happen is I will be putting all of these into the notes, so you guys can have a quick look and see how this all is done. Let me get back. Alrighty, so the next thing that we do need to do is we have to create a subscription ID, a service principal. So for that, what we do is I'm just gonna pop this in, and this one would be called the template variable demo ACDO. So that's all good. And what this is doing is I'm creating a service principal called sp-template variable demo-ACDO, and I'm giving it the role of a contributor across my subscription, and the scope you can see is across my subscription. So I'm just going to create the service principal. And yep, you can see that we got this information. It's always best to keep this aside, guys. So whenever you're doing something, these are sensitive information that you don't want to be lying around in machines. So yeah, just take this off to a side, pop them anywhere that you want to. But yeah, this is some sensitive information. Now this thing, our resource, our Azure key vault has been created. The next thing is we have created our service principal. The only other thing that is left right now is to first create a new project. And the only other thing that is left right now is to go and give our key vault access to the service principal. So yeah, let's go to that. Let's go to our resource. So yeah, this is the resource. If you go on the bottom, you can see on the left hand side there is access policies. So I'm just going to create an access policies. So I'm just going to see some of these. I'm just giving my particular service principal access to keys and secrets. You guys can be more granular with how you want to do. Maybe I don't want backup or restore. I don't want that ability. So let's see, what is it that we called it? SP template variable demo AZDO. That's our that's the service principal that we just created. Let me do next. Yes, it is, and I am creating this access policy now. I can see that it has access to get, set, update, and create keys, and the same for secrets as well. So yeah, that's all we have to do in Azure, in the Azure portal. Let's go to Azure DevOps. So this is the URL, the aex.dev.azure.com. So you can just go there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a new project. And what this would do is actually just create a new project. What would be calling is template variable demo. Demo for creating a template variable. So I'm just going to leave it at private because I really don't care. And yeah, just keep the defaults to the rest of the ones. We just go forward on that. Now we can see that the project has been created. So just before we do anything, let's just go into the project settings, and we have to authorize the service principal that we just created from the Azure. We got to link it back to our Azure DevOps. So let's just go to the service connections and create a service connection. So this one would be the Azure Resource Manager to manage resources, and we have created a service principal, so it would be a manual service principal here. And we are, yes, it is subscription ID. So these are the same as what we have here, and we just have to pop all of these stuff back in. So yeah, let's do that. I know the subscription ID is this. Let me pop that in. And I'm using my Azure sponsor this thing subscription, so I just pop that in there. And the next thing that I do need to do is the app ID from the service principal. So I just copy that over, and that is it. The other thing is the password is what we would need next, because it's the service principal key, and we just pop that in. The tenant information is the next thing because it asked for a tenant ID. Let's pop that in. Now let's call this variable. No, let's call this something meaningful. What is the project name? It's template variable service connection. Service call. And verify and save. So what this is going to do is actually going to verify this connection for us, and now we have associated this particular service connection with this Azure DevOps project. So yeah, let's go to the repos first. So let's do some initialization. So I'm just going to hit initialize here. I'm going to be doing most of the stuff today in the Azure portal. It's in the ADO Azure DevOps portal itself. So things will be very easy to know and see how that goes. But in the future, we'll be moving into Azure Visual Studio Code, and I will be showing you how we can set that up as well. So yeah, after we hit initialize, what we're going to do is we're just going to create a new folder. I like to structure my Azure pipelines in such a way that this is where all of my Azure DevOps pipelines, AD pipe lines get stored. And this is the file name that I just want to create is a readme inside that .md. And I'm just going to commit this just so that it stays. And the other thing is I'm going to create a new folder. It's going to be called variables and readme here as well. commit. So yeah, maybe we pop in some details here. Let me just do an edit here and just do use case. This folder is responsible for holding all the Azure DevOps pipelines here. Let me just do a commit here. And inside the variable section, let's do the same thing. Let's edit, and this is going to be usage as well. All the templates located here serve as variables for the main Azure DevOps pipelines. In this project, we can do cross project as well, but at this point let's keep it simple. Let's do a simple in this project setting. Now, okay, it's simple. So the first thing we have to do is inside the variables, I'm going to create a new file. It's going to be called common vars.yaml. YAML is the syntax that you use for pipelines. Common vars.yaml. And now what we'll do is, let me get my pipelines. Let's go to the library. Let's create a variable group here. And what we're going to call this is template variable group 1. So this is just going to be variable group. And what we're going to do is we're going to link secrets from Azure Key Vaults as a variable. Let me just click on this and we can see that we already have an available service connection that we just popped in. So let's pop that in, and now this one has access to the dev Azure Key Vault. Okay, but here's the thing, we didn't add any secret here. So let's go back into our dev thing. Let's go back to secrets. So we have access to do this. So let's create a secret. Let us store all the stuff that we just got here as secrets here. So this one would be the application ID. This is the application ID. Yep, and I just do a create. Let me create another one. This is the display name of my service principal. This is the password. This is the password. And yep, the password of my service principal, which is not going to be shown for much longer. So this is my tenant information. And obviously right after this I'm going to blow up my tenants. Yep, good luck. Tenant, and this is the value. So now we have 4 secrets. Let's go back to our library and then let's do add. We have those 4 little ones that we need and we hit OK. So what's happened is this is now saved. Now what we have just done is created a variable group in Azure DevOps. Now this sort of variables are available all across to different pipelines, but we are not going to give them, we are not going to be doing it that way. What we are going to be doing is, let's go into our repos. We're going to be popping them into our common vars.yaml file here. We'll just be creating a new file, common vars.yaml. And now what we are going to be doing is we are just going to be doing a variable declaration over here, and it's going to be group, and the group is right here. The way let me commit this first because I don't remember what the group was called. It would be here. Yes, the template variable group. Repos, let's go back to our variables, common vars. Let's edit this back again. Okay, so and now what we're going to be doing is, yep, we're just going to be calling this name. It's going to be our Azure subscription ID. And the value would be very, very easy. It's just going to be our subscription ID from the previous string. And the next one is called name as well. We are just calling the next one. We are just going to be calling the next one the subscription name. The Azure subscription name. If I can spell, that'd be awesome, but I never do. So, and the value for our subscription name is just the Azure Pass sponsorship. And the next thing we also do is the name. Now what we have done is now we have updated our variable template. Now all that's left is actually to create the pipeline. So let's go with that. Let's go to the pipelines button. Let's do create pipeline. Yabba-do, yabba-da. Let's do the Azure repo. Let's select our project. Let's do the select pipeline. So some of the stuff that I do want to do over here is I want to take main off. I like to have manual runs for my pipeline, so I just do none. And I will completely get rid of that step. I just want this. No, I shouldn't. If I'm smart, I will do that. And now the only thing that is left is I have to link my variables. So let me do this, variables, and then I just link it to my template. And the template is called let me just go hit this like that and find what is it called. It's called variables and common vars.yaml. I can find the path here if I'm a bit smarter. And then I go here and I just link it to the pub. I'm too smart, aren't I? Common vars, edit, cancel. Yep, and I have done that now. Now let me just link up that variables, and now we have access to all of the variables that we see. Now let's do this. Let's get password. Let's get display name. The last one is app ID. So let's do that. Let's paste that in. I don't need you. Display name. Let me just change this. Running template variable to get data. This is done. Now let's do first, let's do a save. Yep, let's save this. Some issues, view details. This is what has happened. Let me check my pipelines. Okay, what happened? Let me do a I'm running the job. Yeah, the agent is run. The secrets have been checked out. The template has screwed up again. Ay, 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 ay. Let me go back to my pipeline. Let me see if I did something really, really fucking weird with this. Edit. Oh, yes, I did. I'm a knob. And this is what happens when you get too many coffees in your system. So yeah, that's going, and down. Okay. The Git has checked out, evaluating, yep. The job has initialized and downloaded the secrets, the templates, and the build successfully. And now we can see them. So all of them are as expected. And this is where we learned that you never name your variables the same as your variable groups. And the second thing is always fucking check for the closing braces. Anyway, it was amazing hosting you guys. Have a good one. Take it easy. And we are off.